Worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq hollering at you one more again. All right. Man, you already know what I'm going to say. It's another beautiful day. Has been a fantastic day, right? So, let's call this changing perspective to see things better. All right. So, right now on the planet, I do not have to sell you on how drastic certain things have gotten, right? We find ourselves amidst the time with those low vibers, as I like to call them, right? It's what they are, essentially. People, entities, beings, energies that are stuck, literally stuck on a low vibrational frequency resonance, right? That's where they're resonating at, and unfortunately, it's going to be extremely difficult for them to change, right? The reason for that is lack of spiritual maturity, right? Or let me not phrase it that way. Let me simply say they have not gotten to where they need to be with their spiritual maturity and able to encapsulate and able to handle, to even take in the higher vibrational frequencies necessary in order to resonate in this new paradigm that we have so beautifully established. The new paradigm of peace, love, respect. This new high vibrational frequency paradigm. There are those who simply cannot exist in it, right? And the reason I call this change in perspective is because the perspective I'm taking right now has got me celebrating, right? It's got me celebrating every single day the beautiful evolution that we are taking as a species, right? As a civilization. This is literally our evolution. That's what we're witnessing, right? We are taking an immense leap forward. An immense leap forward in our evolution, right? Both individually and collectively as a civilizational species. And to me, right, I choose the perspective that allows me to see that as a beautiful thing. Folks, we've all heard that phrase, you can't have your cake and eat it too, right? Okay. Same thing applies here. We want a new paradigm, right? We want a beautiful new high vibrational frequency paradigm in which to flourish, right? The way that we should. Well, if we want that, we have to be willing to go through the growth. And sometimes with growth comes growing pains, right? And that's simply what we have to experience. In this particular situation, the growing pains we've experienced in 2020 is the uncovering of just exactly how sick, how flawed, how broken we have allowed our existence to become on this planet. we are seeing every aspect of our civilization that we need to cut out and eradicate from the way we live our lives. We have seen every aspect of our own behavior toward one another, toward this beautiful planet, toward every other being that lives on the planet, all these beautiful animals, these aquatic beings, everything else that lives on the planet. We most certainly should be treating with peace, love, and respect. And instead, that's not what we've seen. So, we absolutely must go through the process of examining ourselves, examining our role here on this planet, right? And examine our relationship, all of our relationships with the planet, with one another, with the inhabitants of this planet. We need to get back to being in harmony with everything else on the planet. Recently, I've seen a couple of videos that reminded me about the mentality that we take on this planet, the egocentric mentality that we've adopted. And you can go no further than looking at how we treat the animals of this planet. We have this mentality, we have it etched in our psyche that we are superior to every other being on this planet. We believe that our minds make us better somehow, right? When in fact, if we examine our stewardship on this planet, we failed. We've done a shabby job, to say the least. So quite honestly, it's in denial that we would claim superiority over anything on this planet. It's in denial. And in reality, no being is greater than another. In reality, we are all of the same energy. Every single thing, every sentient being, from every blade of grass to every tree, every bird, every insect, every fish, every anything that you can think of on this planet that has life, we should respect. We must respect in order to be in harmony on this planet. And if we think we've done such an impressive job, oh, look at how we've advanced technologically and look at all the things we've accomplished. Really? We've grown as a civilization to have fostered a society where, just take the United States for example, we have this fear-driven society that makes us afraid of everyone else in the world. What is the rhetoric that is constantly repeated by our quote-unquote leaders in government? Whenever we have any sort of armed conflict or any sort of armed conflict around the world, right? It's the first thing they say. we're going to war to protect the freedoms of the American people. Folks, the closest anybody ever came to doing anything of a militaristic nature on the soils of the United States were the Japanese. And in response, we nuked 2 cities, 2 entire cities, full of human beings. Human beings, men, women, children, who had absolutely nothing to do with putting their finger on the button or calling the shot, should I say, for their government to go to war or to perpetrate the act of war known as Pearl Harbor, right? As the history books say. Maybe their government did commit a great act of war or aggression toward us. Certainly, if any, we know that there are folks who are put in danger, and I don't know exactly offhand what the death toll or injury toll was associated with Pearl Harbor, and not one human being should ever be put in danger, damaged, or attacked, right? So that was a vile deed. But we take this high horse in this country and we act like we're so morally better than the rest of the world, when our response to such a vile act was to commit another vile act exponentially greater. Pearl Harbor, I'm sure, unfortunately, like I said, I don't know what the statistics were offhand with the casualties there, but I can guarantee you it truly pales in comparison to the loss of life in the 2 cities that we bombed in Japan. And let's stop talking about it in these vague terms, or rather in terms that enable us to distance ourselves from the horrific act that was. Millions of lives lost with one act of vengeance. That's our legacy here in this country. That's the freedom that we're protecting so greatly. Come on, folks, you're being brainwashed. Nobody's jeopardizing anyone's freedoms here. No foreign power is jeopardizing your freedom, or ever has, as a United States citizen. That is simply rhetoric. That is the quote-unquote company line that all of these military individuals and those in support of these military efforts has spewed to brainwash and justify murder across the planet, right? So the whole point of me bringing that up is the fact that as a civilization, as much as we look in the mirror and try to stick out our chests and feel so proud and boastful about all the things we've accomplished here, probably the thing we've been most proficient at is killing one another. Look through our history. Look at what we're doing right now on this planet. Those of us who have gotten to be the most powerful, who have the most resources, instead of looking toward bettering the lives of their fellow human beings, they turn their gaze toward murder. Their great solution, their way to save us all, is this current depopulation plan. They are literally planning to wipe out millions of people. That's the legacy we want to live? That's our great achievement. That's an example of how civilized we've become? No. No, folks. No. We've been going in the wrong direction on this planet for a long, long time, right? Not decades, not centuries, but millennia, right? Pardon me. So now, change your perspective. Let go of all that. Let go of that paradigm. In 2020, we have seen this stuff, and I use that softened term, right? Back in my days when I had a bit of a foul mouth, I probably used some much worse terms to describe what we're dealing with. Sorry. Son's dog Zeus tends to often be my buddy on these journeys, right? So, folks, I said in several other videos, we must grow up. It's time to become spiritually mature, to become responsible enough for us to take a realistic look at what we have become on this beautiful planet. It's time for us to take our inventory, folks. We got to do it. We got to do it. It hurts, but we got to look in the mirror. No more lying to ourselves. We have to tell the truth to ourselves. And that's what this year's been all about. The uncovering of these Hollywood pedophiles that's been going on for so long, right? The uncovering of these international slavery rings, the sex trafficking and the outright slavery in some areas and walks of life on the planet, right? This adrenochrome, this sickening, disgusting adrenochrome industry and all the pain and suffering and torture and misery that they are causing children. Come on, folks. These sorts of things have happened right under our noses because we were distracted, because we were going down the wrong path for so long and did not even see it, because we have been misled. But you know, we can't stay naive forever, folks. We have to face the music, as they say. We have to be, again, spiritually mature